So I'm Alexandra Crawford, and I closed on my house in 2022. Yeah, and I think I wrote a review about this, but I had banking relationships with different financial institutions, and it just seemed harder to get financing through them because they had like a cookie cutter client in mind. So, like the first time, the same day, I came to Sergio after kind of having like a not so great experience or a process with a bank. And it was like a 1 hour, 30-minute to an hour process. And I'm like, okay, literally night and day, the same day. And I just I had a client close with Sergio in January, and it was literally the same exact conversation. He was like, I'm gonna stick to my bank. I'm like, I actually have the same bank as you, trust me. No, it was like, and then finally he's like, I think I'll talk to Sergio, because I kept bringing Sergio's name up, and same thing, and the rate was more competitive, and then the close time was more competitive, so we were able to like submit a strong, clean offer because of that. Just had this conversation like 2 days ago, because I really am passionate about it, and I think that's what, I was a homeowner first, and then I'm like, wait, I really enjoy real estate, and then just even as I've learned more about opportunities for financial freedom. Like I just added an ADU on my property, so I'm obsessed with development and all things real estate. I know it sounds really corny, but it's true. And one thing I explain to clients too is like, and even just people, friends, whatever, that owning, there's like a stepping stone, like there are levels to it, right? So you can own a condo first and then take that and look into options for either selling it or refinancing, cash out refi, or HELOC, or whatever it is, using it as like an avenue to take the next step up. And my biggest thing too is focusing on legacy building. So not just thinking about what your wants and needs are, but even like now with this financial climate we're in, it's harder for some people to qualify to buy, and having a home in the family or multiple homes in the family is what's allowing generational home ownership. There's always like the what if, and then the external factors that might lead to uncertainty, and people just kind of not just second guessing themselves, but like second guessing the market. And so I explain that, my biggest thing is planning. So I have people come to me and they want to buy or sell, but then they might be planning to relocate shortly after. So just looking at the bigger picture, what are you going to do once you're in the home? Or what are you going to do once you sell this home if you're planning to buy another one? So it's an individual approach that I take with each client, and deciding, the rates can drop, the rates can increase. You're not in control of that. If they do drop, then you might have the opportunity to refinance and just restructure things a bit, or maybe consider a HELOC if you needed cash later on. So just thinking bigger picture. There have been ways that he's helped with a client making a decision to switch lenders. I think the ease of the process, being real with people, again, not looking for the cookie cutter client. I work with a lot of military clients, but then I also work with a lot of self-employed clients, cash buyers even, that might want to offset with some financing from time to time. So just having that flexibility. One major thing that's helped is, and it's funny, I called him last year and I'm like, wait, so you offer DSCR loans now? When were we gonna have this conversation, right? So, and that was like a joke, and he's like, wait, what? So just knowing the different products and having the products change over time, and different options that he can tap into. If my best friend came to me today, I would make the introduction to Sergio right away. Yeah. No, but legitimately, I really would, and I do that all the time. Like there's been times where I've called Sergio and like with 3 days with 3 different prospective buyers, and I'm like, okay, look, I'm sorry to bother you. He's like, what do you mean sorry to bother me? I'm like, well, I don't want to. I'm not trying to throw everyone at you, but I want you to have to speak to these people and find out what the options are for them. And most of the time, they're all completely different scenarios. And I have different approaches. Like if someone tells me they want to buy a home and they don't know where to start, or if they just have basic questions, I actually have like a 1-hour consultation I do with them, or 30 minutes, whatever. I just, allot that time and explain the process from A to Z, more emphasis on the A part being speak to the lender first. Once you're done with the lender, we have all the numbers. Then we'll start discussing the process more in depth. But just here's a quick rundown. So, and it's funny, I was watching a reality show with my daughter the other day, and I'm like, they're these these college age students, and they're just like spending all this money because their families. And I was like, if you ever thought of like going shopping with an unlimited budget instead of putting that money into real estate, I would not be happy with you. It's a bit of, I work with a lot of first-time buyers. Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I work with a lot of military clients as well. And my business is really significantly referral-based. So that it's nice to have like that reintroduction and like that trust over time too. So if I had a client that was looking to explore various options, I would absolutely recommend Synergy One Lending.
You come in here and sit down with you?
Yeah. Oh, there he goes.
You're a star over here. I think in working with her, it's been, I've seen her grow from like being new in this and sort of blindly trusting me to now her becoming an expert, and she just like owns everything. So I think one of the cool things with Alexandra is that if you need like representation on the big scale of things, she goes to battle. And most realtors just say, okay, cool, here's my negotiation, here's what it is. And she's actually taken the time to look after people's better interest in a huge way. And I think that's a win, ultimately for the client, because she's accessible after hours. She's, as early as this morning, she's doing things, for her clients like crazy and trying to keep deals together that other realtors, in all honesty, would have given up on, a long time ago. So there's a lot to be said for dealing with an expert in this business.
Thank you. From day one, as an initial homeowner, then getting into the business and then buying again, I've trusted Sergio from day one, and just his expertise and the versatility of, just the range of expertise, I would say. Yeah.
You're a homeowner, correct?
Yeah.
Now, you've worked with Sergio, correct, with that too. Could you tell us more about now working with him, not as like the realtor per se, although you were your own realtor?
It was funny because when I got approved for my second home, and then I called Sergio, I think it was 4 days later, and he's like, what took you so long to find a house, when I was ready to go under contract? So just moments like that I remember all the time. So
I think having the ability to joke around and feel comfortable, with each other, whether it's good news, bad news, whatever, we've gotten pretty good at delivering bad news, and that's sort of cool. So when she was on the side of the homeowner, it was like I was able to be like, I'm always transparent, but extra transparent, because it was her on the other side, so she understood everything. So which was really cool.
Yeah.
And now she's building her real estate portfolio and becoming a big dog. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah.